This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(8:45). This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Indrani Senanayake. The headlines. The Foreign Ministry says that AG notifies that PC polls cannot be held without passing new Act. The Epidemiology Unit of the Ministry of Health says 542 more people were tested positive for the coronavirus so far today. A reduction in COVID deaths. A grace period has been granted to renew expired vehicle revenue licences in the Western Province. State Minister Dilum Amargama says that inter-provincial bus operations will begin from the 21st of this month. News from overseas. US submarine collides with unknown object. On to the main stories. Leader of the House, Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, told the Parliamentary Select Committee on Electoral Reforms that the Attorney General has notified that the Provincial Council elections cannot be held under any system without passing a new Act. He said this during a meeting of the committee held at the Parliamentary Complex. He said even this is vital to hold provincial council elections which have been functioning without people's representatives for a long time. The legal situation stands as an obstacle to do so. He said it was not the task of the PSC to draft laws and that it is a task to make recommendations. He said that it is a task of the government and Parliament to draft laws. The Epidemiology Unit of the Ministry of Health says 542 more people were tested positive for the novel coronavirus so far today. This brings the total number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 reported in the country to 525,479. Reportedly, more than 32,000 virus-infected patients are undergoing treatment at the moment at hospitals, treatment centres and undergoing home-based care. The total number of coronavirus recoveries reached 479,629 after 447 more patients were discharged from medical care earlier today. Meanwhile, the total number of people who fell victim to the COVID-19 infection in Sri Lanka moved up as 29 more fatalities were confirmed by the Director General of the Health Services yesterday. The new development has pushed the official death toll from the virus outbreak in the country to 13,296. A grace period has been granted to renew expired vehicle revenue licences in the Western Province. Accordingly, the revenue licences for the vehicles expiring from the 12th to the 31st of this month will be valid until the 30th of November without any surcharge. The Western Province Chief Secretary, Jayanthi Wijetunga, said the decision was taken due to the breakdown of the computer system that issues vehicle revenue licences from time to time. She said as a result, there may be delays in the issuing of vehicle revenue licences. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking.
We continue with local news. State Minister Dilum Amargama says that the interprovincial bus operation will begin from the 21st of this month. Accordingly, the travel restrictions will also be removed on the same day. Accordingly, the State Ministry of Transport Services said that interprovincial bus and railway services will also begin. Passengers say that sufficient buses are not operated at district level. State Minister Dilum Amanugama said that buses are operated at district level under health guidelines. The Kandurata Janata Peramuna has emphasized that the local government election should be conducted speedily. The leader of the Peramuna parliamentarian V. Radhakrishnan said that the increasing of milk powder and other essential food items has affected a number of people, including the people of the estate sector, and it was unbearable for them. Next, we take a look at the main news story.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking. People's Bank Digital Banking, your ultimate convenience.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
Obstetrics and gynecology specialist Dr. Sanath Lanarol of the Castle Hospital in Colombo said that more than 80% of pregnant mothers have been vaccinated. She said that there is a reduction of COVID-infected pregnant mothers. There are some reports of complications for some pregnant women after their recovery from COVID. That was the main news story. Next is Watchlight.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watchlight.
The fisher community has pointed out that a systematic plan is needed to safeguard prawns and jar koto in the Madhuganga in Balapitia. High-speeding boat operations and fuel have affected this area. They request the Ministry of Local Government to pay attention to this issue. That came to in Watchlight. A bulletin of world news will follow.
World News.
The headlines: US submarine collides with unknown object. The US and Taliban to hold first talks since military withdrawal from Afghanistan. Local staff arrive in Japan from Afghanistan. US officials say a US nuclear submarine hit an unknown object while submerged in waters in the Asia-Pacific region, injuring a number of sailors. It was not clear what caused the incident today, they said. The submarine remained fully operational. Unnamed officials told US media the collision happened in international waters in the South China Sea and that 11 sailors had been injured. The incident happened amid rising tensions in the region. The US Navy said the extent of the damage was still being assessed and that the submarine's nuclear propulsion plant and spacers had not been affected. The United States and the Taliban will hold their first talks this weekend, according to the officials from both sides. It is the first meeting since US forces withdrew from Afghanistan in late August, ending a 20-year military presence there and the Taliban's rise to power. Talks are to take place in Doha, the capital of the Persian Gulf state of Qatar. Officials from both sides have said that these talks will focus on extremist groups in Afghanistan and easing the evacuation of foreign citizens and Afghans from the country. A group of Afghan nationals who worked for the Japanese embassy and the Japan International Cooperation Agency in Afghanistan arrived in Japan with their families yesterday. Tokyo worked out with the Qatari government, which has a relationship with the Afghanistan's ruling Islamic group Taliban, to get them out of the country. The 53 people flew to Qatar on a civilian airplane earlier this month. This was the first time the Japanese government had used a civilian plane to evacuate local staff. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. US submarine collides with an unknown object. The US and Taliban to hold first talks since military withdrawal from Afghanistan. Local staff arrive in Japan from Afghanistan. That ends this bulletin of world news. Development news is up next.
And now in development news.
200 smart classrooms and modern technology laboratories will be constructed in 200 schools in the Galle district. 300 million rupees will be spent on the project. The Government of India has agreed to donate this financial assistance. The aim of this project is to provide a quality education system for all children. That was development news. A look at sports news next.
Sports news.
The 7th match of the 13th South Asian Football Tournament will be held tomorrow. The match will be played between the Maldives and Sri Lanka. It is scheduled to begin at 4:30 p.m. at the National Playground in Malé. The match between India and Nepal will also begin tomorrow morning. That was sports news. Up next is business news.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U-Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Foreign Ministry said that tourism industries in Sri Lanka and Nepal have welcomed the recently started direct flights operated by Sri Lankan Airlines connecting Colombo to Kathmandu, thus removing a long-felt impediment to promote tourism between the two countries. In this backdrop, the Sri Lanka Embassy in Nepal joined hands with the Nepal Tourist Board and the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau to promote tourism between Sri Lanka and Nepal and explore opportunities for collaborative activities. That came to you in business news. Economic news is up next.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
The Ministry of Fisheries says that more than 30 million rupees has been allocated for the welfare activities of the fisheries communities in the Matara district. The finance will be spent for equipment and financial needs for them. 260 beneficiary families have been selected for the first program. That was economic news. Finally, a look at the weather report.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Weather report.
The Met Department says that the showery condition over the southwestern part of the island is likely to enhance up to some extent during the next few days. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central, northwestern, northern and north-central provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and central provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places elsewhere in the afternoon or at night. That was the weather report. To end tonight's news broadcast, the headlines again. The Foreign Minister says that AG notifies that PC polls cannot be held without passing new Act. The Epidemiology Unit, the Ministry of Health says 542 more people were tested positive for the novel coronavirus so far today. A reduction in COVID deaths. A grace period has been granted to renew expired vehicle revenue licenses in the Western Province. State Minister Dilum Amanugama says that inter-provincial bus operations will begin from the 21st of this month. News from overseas. US submarine collides with unknown object. That ends tonight's news broadcast.